Some people are so famous that even the act of dying is a big deal. Get in! For we're heading to a destination all people ultimately share. Death. Prepare yourselves as the most famous deaths in history get deep, fat, fry.
No malarkey, Jack. Back in my day, we didn't have any entertainment at all, except for the old Scranton Village Elder. He only had 2 teeth. But that guy had a million stories. I ain't joking, Fat. We'd sit in the cold every night to hear him tell the tale of the cat he ate once. Nowadays, what with the mobile pages and the web phones and Netscapes and whatnot, it's hard to figure out what even to watch. Most days I'll just surf AOL. Lost, Jack. How do I click off the page? Why are there so many browsers open? It's all too goddamn much if you ask me. Now listen, Fat, I've got your solution. It's called the Pessimist Productions Patreon. You can click the link below and bam, all the entertainment you need, Jack. It's like Willy Wink, you know, the chocolate factory thing. Hundreds of exclusive shows. I ain't kidding. Exclusive streams, more news. You can't go wrong. So cancel that AOL. Join the Pessimist Productions Patreon now. Don't wait, or you'll be sorry, Jack.
You love the death episode, Scotty. You always doing some kind of death episode. It's always like strangest deaths. I'm like, didn't we already do that? You're like, no, before this we did most unusual deaths. And now it's like most famous deaths. Oh, yeah, Paul's repping the Reaper. That's true. Look at that.
Seasons don't fear the Reaper, TJ. Nor do the wind, nor the sun and the rain.
Seems like there's just one member of Deep Fat Fried who is afraid of the Reaper, TJ.
Who's that?
Well, the one bitching about, Scotty always does
too much death.
Why is it going to be death?
There's some more, but Scotty, please. How about episode on Greatest Lives?
You need more cowbell, TJ.
Ding, ding, ding.
You start fearing death, just listen, just isolate that fucking cowbell from Blue Oyster Cult, dude.
Yeah, just need the cowbell only version of fucking Don't Fear the Reaper.
I bet you it exists. I bet you fucking
cowbell only version. Ding, ding, ding.
Need more
ding,
cowbell.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is the trial and death of Socrates, TJ.
I always thought it was pronounced Socrates because that's how Bill and Ted said it. You know, that's how they Bill and Ted it.
I mean, this guy didn't even exist.
Saying it's fake.
No, Socrates was invented by Plato. This is well known.
That is a matter
didn't actually exist.
That is a matter of historical conjecture.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's pretty much agreed upon by all scholars.
The debate still rages on.
By all Paul's scholars that have looked into the issue extensively and found it to be not what a farce.
Socrates didn't exist, just like Diogenes didn't exist. He's just a fucking parable. Plato needed a fucking... He needed a fucking teacher figure so that people would look up to him so he could act like he was passing the wisdom down.
Diogenes totally existed. I'll tell you what Diogenes really was, though. He was just a bum who knew how to hustle people.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I really like dogs. He had a dog thing. Maybe the first recorded dog person in history. So Socrates, or as Paul would say, the Socrates of legend.
Socrates
avoided political involvement where he could and counted friends on all sides of the fierce power struggles following the end of the Peloponnesian War. In 406 BC, his name was drawn to serve in the Athens Assembly, or the Ecclesia.
Ecclesia.
One of the 3 branches of ancient Greek democracy, known as the Demokratia.
Democratia.
Maybe, yeah, you're probably saying it better than me.
Or Kratia.
I don't know. I don't know how you say Greek shit.
Who the fuck knows? No one knows.
So you would like Socrates, TJ. He became the lone opponent of an illegal proposal to try a group of Athens' top generals for failing to recover their dead from a battle against Sparta. The generals were, of course, executed once Socrates' assembly service ended. How convenient. 3 years later, when a tyrannical Athenian government ordered Socrates to participate in the arrest and execution of Leon of Slamis, he refused, an act of civil disobedience that Martin Luther King Jr. would cite in his letter from Birmingham jail. Of course, the tyrants get their way in the end. They were forced from power before they could punish Socrates. But in 399, he was indicted for failing to honor the Athenian gods and corrupting the youth or the young.
Well, you know.
I mean, you can't be allowed to do that.
I mean, the Athenian gods, in Socrates' defense, did suck. Like, they were pretty lame gods.
Pretty jealous and petty and stupid.
Yeah, they had a lot of human failings, you know? I expect higher, you know, if you're going to fucking pledge your loyalty to a god, it should be one that, like, transcends the fucking foibles of human beings.
Now, God's going to deliver you something.
Yeah.
It's like,
get you a god that's going to do a little something for you.
Yeah, and a god that's better than you. It's like, you don't look at your god and be like, God, my god's really fucking up lately.
It's like,
my god's got more problems than me.
Why worship these petty fucking Olympian, style gods when, you could invent your own god as a wise teacher that stood as a standing fucking example of what it meant to be philosophically devoted and whose life makes an interesting arc and has a great story behind it. You know what I mean? Like, why not lift up a character like that to worship,
If only we could find such a character, if only one could be found.
Luckily, we don't need to invent it because Socrates is there to truly exist for us.
Yeah, of course.
You're right here.
Although some historians suggest there may have been political machinations behind the trial, he was condemned on the basis of his thought and teaching. In The Apology of Socrates,
Socrates.
Plato recounts him mounting a spirited defense of his virtue before the jury was, but calmly accepting their verdict. It was in court that Socrates allegedly uttered the now famous phrase, "The unexamined life is not worth living."
Socrates, brah. Boom. Examine that life, Socrates.
His execution was delayed for 30 days due to a religious festival, during which the philosopher's distraught friends tried unsuccessfully to convince him to escape from Athens. On his last day, Plato says he appeared both happy in manner and words, as he died nobly and without fear. He drank the cup of brewed hemlock his executioner handed him, walked around until his legs grew numb, and then lay down, surrounded by his friends, and waited for the poison to reach his heart.
Socrates, the savior of man.
Savior of all humanity. The bedrock of Western philosophy.
Inspired Martin Luther King. Inspired so many people.
If there's one thing you can take away from this episode, it is that unequivocally Socrates was a real man who had real thoughts and lived in this life. No parable here.
Parable would be terrible.
In all actuality, I have no fucking clue if Socrates actually was a person or not.
Diogenes was, though. I know that for a fact.
How do you know that for a fact?
Because I just do. Because I'm super fucking smart, bro.
You know who this balding man is, TJ?
Ducius
Maximus?
Julius Caesar.
Glory to Kaiser.
No, this is Ducius, Paul.
This is Ducius.
Another guy that didn't exist but was made up as a parable.
Fucking fraud.
All history is a story. The world began on January 1st, 1988, as all survivors of the War of 1988 know.
Yes.
How did you survive the war being so young, Paul?
Just sheer tenacity and fucking badassery, bro.
Yeah, so I know that's... I question that story based on what you just told me. Julius Caesar's forgotten assassin, TJ.
Forgotten assassin.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
And it's, TJ, you've heard this before. Next image, please.
What's going on here? Oh, no.
Beware the Ides of March. Beware.
No. Shit.
On March 15th.
Oh, fuck. Is that Brutus?
44 BC. A group of Roman senators murdered Julius Caesar as he sat on the podium at a Senate meeting.
What a bunch of dicks.
I mean, they had a few disagreements with him.
Fucking jerks.
And you, Brutus.
I can't even believe Brutus is there because, like, they were tight. Wasn't that his boy?
The rest of these scumbags I expected this from. But you, Brutus. And
yeah,
you.
Dude. Fucking, that sucks. Even Brutus turned on him, dude.
The dictator fell bleeding to death from 23 stab wounds before the horrified eyes of the rest of the house. It was a little after noon on the Ides of March, as the Romans called the midday of the month. The spectators didn't know it yet, but they were witnessing the last hours of the Roman Republic. But who was to blame? As readers of William Shakespeare know, a dying Caesar turned to one of the assassins and condemned him with his last breath. It was Caesar's friend, Marcus Junius Brutus. And Paul, you actually just uttered the line, but it said, "Et tu, Brute."
Brute.
You too, Brutus.
You too, Brutus.
Is what Shakespeare has Caesar say in The Tragedy of Julius Caesar. Great play, by the way.
Shakespeare didn't make that up, though. That's actually what he said.
Except Caesar never said these words.
No.
And Brutus was neither his closest friend nor his biggest betrayer, not by a long shot.
What the fuck, Scotty?
Told you. All the world's a stage, TJ, and all the men and women merely players.
All right.
You listen to Shakespeare one too many times, TJ.
This is the same damn bust. What the hell?
The worst traitor was another man, Decimus Junius Brutus Albinius.
He's still got Brutus right in his name.
From Brutus.
Decimus, I believe, was a distant cousin of Marcus Brutus. So they're related.
That guy has every Roman word that sounds like somebody that's going to stab you in the back. Read his name again for me, please. Every word in his name sounds like somebody's going to stab you in the back.
Brutus Albinius.
Albinus,
yes.
Yeah, like Decimus, an albino.
Decimus Junius. Wait, are you saying an albino is more likely to stab you than a non-albino?
I mean, you know.
All right. I didn't even know that fucking... I think we just invented a stereotype here, but okay.
Albinism.
But basically, because Shakespeare doesn't mention Decimus, as far as most people are concerned in history, he really wasn't there.
The power of Shakespeare, man.
Well, yeah, that's probably the most famous retelling of the story.
Yeah. They were like, that's how it went down. Shakespeare said it.
How about the next image, please, CJ?
Next slide, please.
Ask me nicely.
Fuck you, TJ. No, go back. I ain't gonna ask you nicely.
There you go. There's the previous image.
I ain't asking you nicely, TJ. I'm telling you.
I already went. I already
did it. TJ. I want to make a point to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you now. Now, TJ, you have my permission to change the image.
All right, here you go.
A2, TJ. A2.
A2, TJ.
Shakespeare was two men in charge of the plot to kill Caesar. Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus.
Longinus. That sounds fucking erotic.
Hey, that was his name. Spankshire. Shakespeare mentions...
Wait, did you call him Spankshire?
I did. That's why I had to say it again.
I don't know. Boner.
I'm sorry.
Quit titillating me with these words.
Perverted shit just sleeps into our brains. Dude.
Spankshire, yeah.
Spankshire, oh, yes. So Shakespeare mentions Decimus.
If anyone needs a porn writer name, Spankshire.
Actually misspells his name as Decius.
Ooh.
And downplays his role. So he's just like he's like, he's a bit player.
He's a bit player. He wouldn't fucking do shit.
But often overlooked, ancient sources make clear that Decimus was actually a leader of the conspiracy. So he was a leader of it. He wasn't just...
So fucking Shakespeare not only does him dirty by spelling his name fucking
Decus or whatever.
Yeah, and Decus was there too. But
I don't fucking know his
fucking
name.
Downplays it like Decus was too fucking stupid to even fucking do this.
So Decimus was actually closer to Caesar than either Brutus or Cassius was.
Fuck.
In fact, they opposed Caesar during his bloody rise to power during one of the Roman civil wars. Only when he started winning the war did they defect to his cause. Caesar pardoned Brutus and Cassius and rewarded them with political office, but he didn't trust them. I mean, why would he? Decimus was
enemies
different.
Closer, right?
Yeah, of course. Decimus was different. He always fought for Caesar, never against him. And so he held a place in Caesar's inner circle. So he was actually on the inside.
What a shit bag, man. What a fucking total backstabbing bitch, dude.
He's all like, I got your back, Caesar, bro. Yeah, fucking get him, Caesar.
And it's actually a greater betrayal because these two guys are just, they joined up with Caesar because he won. It's like, oh, he's winning. Shit. Pompey
you
is
can
losing.
look at those motherfuckers and know right away, like, all right, I got to give them some position for like political reasons, but like they ain't really with me.
And I mean, knowing how things was in the Roman Empire, there's a good chance that Caesar and Decimus were sharing more than friendly anecdotes with one another.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Shit.
They might have been giving each other fucking hand jobs behind the forum and
Booty
shit.
blasting one another on the daily. You don't know.
Could be.
I mean, the Roman Bacchanal. I mean, come on. The orgy, the decadence of Roman life at this time.
Yeah, you know, there's cock for all at the Bacchanal, as they used to say.
Is that how they sold it?
Yeah, that's
they got cocks for all at the Bacchanal. Come on down.
Yeah, that's how it was, bro.
TJ, you would have been perfect in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Decimus belonged to the Roman nobility, the narrow elite that ruled both Rome and an empire of tens of millions of people. His grandfather extended Rome's rule to the Atlantic and Spain, but Decimus' father had a mediocre career, and his mother dabbled in revolution. Can't do those.
Tisk.
Then Caesar came along and offered Decimus the chance to restore his house's name. Oh man, what a hell of an opportunity! It's like your family is like, look, we used to have something, but now we're middling. A rising star says, "Come, raise your star with me." Decimus was a soldier at heart, educated but rough and ambitious, as his surviving correspondent shows. My soldiers have experienced my generosity and my courage, Decimus wrote. I waged war against the most warlike peoples, captured many strongholds, and destroyed many places. He did all that, he wrote, to impress his men, to serve the public, and to advance his reputation. All right, Paul, I think maybe you have a point.
I told you. It's all fucking horse duty.
I mean, yeah, to impress his men, I'm sure he did. He really impressed them, especially after the battles. Decimus warmed to Caesar, a great commander and a war hero to boot.
Man, the Greeks, man.
Romans,
whatever. The same shit.
I mean, they emulate a lot of what shit the Greeks did, though.
Pretty much the same. I mean, yeah, they were like a copycat fucking empire anyway.
Well, they basically stole the refinement of Greek culture.
It's fucking great because it's like, you know, first a dude leads you in a battle, then after you win, he sucks your fucking dick, man. It's beautiful. Beautiful thing.
I'm feeling Decimus probably made you blow him, though. I mean, you never know. I won't say for certain.
I mean, I don't know.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
As long as it's going down, Tia don't care. In his mid-20s, Decimus joined Caesar's forces that were fighting to add Gaul, roughly France and Belgium, to Rome's empire. Decimus won an important naval battle off Brittany. I mean, the theory just gets stronger and stronger. And served with Caesar in the siege of Alesia in today's Burgundy that sealed Rome's victory in Gaul. Later, his enemies in the Roman Senate tried to strip Caesar of power, but he fought back. It was civil war, and Decimus chose Caesar. Once again, Decimus won a victory at sea. Throw a lot of seamen at his side. This time, on Gaul's Mediterranean coast. A grateful Caesar named Decimus, acting governor of Gaul, I mean, that's a high position, while Caesar went off to challenge his enemies elsewhere. After 4 more years of hard fighting, Caesar returned to Rome triumphant in 45 BC, with Decimus at his side. Why then did Decimus raise a dagger against Caesar only 9 months later?
Yeah, what a douche.
I mean, that's governor of Gaul.
Sounds like Caesar did a
close
lot
friend,
for him.
Confidant. I'll go to our next image. It's actually
what the fuck?
A depiction of a Roman triumph.
What's your problem, Decimus?
Actually, that's the Roman Republic. I guess we missed one. Whatever.
The
Roman Republic.
You know it is.
Many Romans feared the power that Caesar amassed. In theory, Rome was a constitutional republic. Sounds familiar. In practice, Rome teetered for decades on the brink of military dictatorship. Now, Caesar was Rome's first dictator for life, a king in all but name. He even took a queen as a mistress, Cleopatra of Egypt. In 44 BC, she lived in Caesar's villa on the outskirts of Rome. Her young son was, she claimed, Caesar's illegitimate child. All of this was too much for Roman traditionalists. So basically, we got to find a reason to get Caesar out of power. Oh, he's fucking Cleopatra.
He's fucking that.
Which, I mean, who even
Egyptian
knows?
bitch.
Who knows if that's true or not? I mean,
we got to do something about that.
I mean, Caesar certainly could have done that. This is a Roman triumph here, or a depiction of one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Death bless webs, it's time to go. We don't want you here no more. Molly, TJ, Scotty too. There's a fucking